them yesterday and kind of sat down and put together a plan
Hmm.
because they're not all able to attend
Yeah.
to attend, and just getting them to
Sat
commit
down and put together a plan.
so that way when when you're asking them what they want to what they would really like to see happen, just making sure that you kind of get their point of view as to those committed hours, and because I don't want people to waste anybody's time. But it was nice to get them signed, sealed, and delivered as to how quickly they wanted to get to 3 star, how
Yep.
quickly they wanted to get to 1 star. And one of them's up, didn't even realize she's probably not even 200 points away from getting there. So
Wow.
that was fun.
Oh, good. I mean, strategy. And that's all people need a lot of times is they just need to know what is next, what's on my to-do list next, my plate. So that's beautiful. So I think that creates a ton of clarity, especially for brand new people. They can get lost in the sauce really fast without a plan. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Cindy. You're such a great leader. Okay, Caroline, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. So one of the wins I had yesterday was when I was flying here to Austin. I was texting on the airplane with some of my girlfriends that, they're now saying that they're tired of working and they want a new thing. And I said, well, I've been trying to get you guys to listen, but now's the opportunity. Do you want to get on a call with Adrian tomorrow?
Yeah.
Two of them said yes. So
Oh,
yeah. So well, whatever you're doing today, we got to maybe do that sometime.
okay. Yeah, I'm ready when you are. Yeah, just let me know. So, I'm free after this. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me see here. Alrighty. So, and then who else would like to share?
Me.
Anybody?
I'll share, Adrian.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Sky.
Thanks.
So, when I first got into this business, I talked to my one of my sisters about some of the products, and well, first of all, she told me I was crazy and a lunatic and all those things. And then, so now a couple years later, she calls me and she says, "What are you doing? Like, what's going on? Your skin looks really good." And now I'm taking this powdered collagen, and I just said, "Oh, oh, really? I've tried that before too."
Yeah.
And she said, "Well, do you take powdered collagen?" I said, "No, no, I take really good collagen." And and so she said, "Really? What's different?" And so I said, "Well, if you're really interested, I'll send you a sample." And then taste it, see if you like it, and then I'll send you some more information. So she tasted it and she goes, "What's in that stuff? It tastes so good. I could just drink it every day." Ah,
Hmm.
well, now she does want to, she's really like, you got to understand, family dynamics here. Um, so she won't order it until the 20th. But here's the deal. She has really rubbed my face in it all this whole time and said, "Oh, you're just crazy. I don't know why you do what you do." And I said, "I do what I do because I really believe in what I do and I really see results and I really, really like to share with people. That's why I do what I do."
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. But she's ready to sign up with SmartShip.
Ah, oh my gosh, that's a huge win,
That is a big win. You have no idea.
especially with a family member.
Like we'll see how this goes, but
Yeah. I'm so happy
baby
for you. And so,
steps.
yeah, baby steps. And it's true. And this is why you have a huge pipeline of names, including your family, who think you're crazy for a while, don't understand. They need a lot of extra explaining a lot of times. And you're just like, oh, come on, can't you just trust me? But it takes a minute, right? It takes a beat a lot of times. And oh my goodness. Well, that is such a huge win for you. Congratulations.
It's
Thank
a
you for
really
sharing that.
big win.
Yeah. And it helps that we have really great collagen, right, guys?
Oh, really, really good collagen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
got a
Uh,
box. I'm about to print out the label.
Good job, Cliff. Woohoo! That's awesome. I love it. Okay, you guys. Does anyone else have a one they'd like to share real quickly?
I just have a comment about if somebody tell you again that you're crazy, say, you're right, I'm crazy about these products. And if you try, then it would be the same. But I know this is not for you, and just take it away from them.
Yeah.
They're
And
gonna
it
say,
is
well,
hard.
they're
It
gonna
is
be more
hard. This
curious.
is,
It's like when you say, "Hey, don't try this. It's really good, but I don't think that would be good for you."
take it away, huh, George?
Yeah, take it away. Yeah,
Yeah, and that does work a lot of times too.
but
And
it's true.
whenever
I'm crazy
somebody,
about this. That's why I'm doing it.
yeah, and whenever somebody calls you something, you're not going to change their perception, right? So a lot of times just saying, sure, fine, okay, whatever you say, is probably usually the best way because it's just not even worth your breath, right? So you think I'm crazy? I probably am. I'm crazy about this collagen. I love it, etc. Good job. Okay, we're gonna dive in. So the call objective today, I know this is interactive, but I want to talk about outcomes that you want when it comes to follow-up. Okay, and actually what you guys just shared is tees up to this perfectly, because the outcome that you want when you're following up with somebody is you're hoping for a shift in their mindset, right? So, and a shift in yours, because oftentimes too we think, oh, I've shared with them once, they should enroll, right? And follow-up is a call continuum. We talk about this a lot. It's consistently reaching back out with love and knowledge and wisdom and information, right? That's helpful. That's what leaders do. They find creative ways to follow up, and also just to check in. So reminder is the shift in mindset for you and them is you shared something, you're wanting to get feedback on that, but are we just there to be like, hey, Barb, I'd really love to know your thoughts on that video? Or are we really building a relationship with Barb? Like, how much of Barb do we really want to dive into? Does that make sense? Because sometimes if we're looking for this business relationship, this business partnership, there's a difference when you go make a tracker form 30 list or a 100 names list. There's a difference between that Eagle list, the top 10. Those are people you do know that you want to do business with, right? So that's definitely, those are going to be a call continuum, and you're going to be developing a relationship with those Eagles because you're going to be working closely together. If Caroline Small and I didn't have rapport, would I be popping on a private jet with her even just because it was a private jet? No. I jump on a jet because Caroline says, I've got people in California. Can you come? Does that make sense? And so when she says, hey, this is what I need, 2 calls today, I go, yep, I'm free. I'm available. I love Nicole Barone always says that. I'm available for that. I'm available for that. So a lot of times too, when you guys are doing follow-ups and they're like, really don't have time to follow up with you today, but I do have some questions. Can I talk to you on Friday? Yes, I'm available for that. Because you're showing your professionalism up front. And so much of follow-up has a lot to do with normalizing follow-up as a service, not pressure. Another great example of this is I've seen Irene Smith do 1,000,001 follow-up calls, and she's always listens and then responds. She asks a question, she listens, and then she responds because she's waiting to find out, are they interested in the product, the business, or both? And how can I help them how can I place the order today? Right? So when she does her call continuums, people are like, they're not going, oh boy, it's Irene Smith calling again. They're like, oh, hi, Irene. I hear the way that they receive her. They're like, oh, hi, Irene. They know that she's there to serve them in some capacity, whether they decide to join 3 or not. So that's service, being service oriented. Follow-up is a service. It's not about pressure. So let's talk about, I'd like to extract some duplicatable language from the group today. So that's why I want to help you guys as leaders coach follow-up faster too, not harder. So today really is about perfection. And progress. I'm sorry, it's not about perfection. It's about progress, because fortune isn't in the presentation. The presentation tool is a piece of information. Fortune is in the follow-up. So real quickly, I'm gonna post some things that, let me let some more people in. Okay. I'm not post. Well, I guess I could put it in the chat for you. Okay, let me see here. All right, here's some talking points. Most people don't say no, they say not yet. What are some instances, okay? What are some instances that you guys have heard where you feel like maybe in hindsight, you realized that person wasn't really saying no, they were saying not yet, but you took it personally. And what did you learn from that? I know this is kind of a deep one right off the bat. Maybe somebody, if you're seasoned in this business, I think you hear me on that, right? Where you're like, you took it as a no, but really what they were saying is not yet. And how did you adjust or cope? What was the situation? Does anyone want to share something around those lines? Please.
I'll share, Adrian. Hi, everyone.
Thanks,
It's
Nicole.
Nicole. Can you just say the question again? Because it got cut out
Yeah.
okay, say the question.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay. So in other words, most people don't say no. They're really saying not yet, right? Like
Yes,
I'm not ready
100%.
yet.
Yes.
How do you handle that?
Well, that's easy. No, I'm kidding. It's not, but it's a muscle, and it's 7 no's until you get a yes. That's it. It's 7 no's until you get an yes. So every single no before that is not yet. I don't know what you're talking about. You seem really excited. You're really passionate. You're babbling. You're talking too much. I don't know what you're talking about. I have to do this project for work. I have to take the dog to the vet. I have all these things going on in my head. I don't know what you're talking about. So until they go in front of a presentation that I've clicked through, you've clicked through, we've sat and had coffee, it's not yet. They don't know what the heck you are talking about. You guys were so seasoned. You were so savvy. My beautiful founders on here, my folks that are all in on the business. I love it like I love it, but you are just overcomplicating things and you're talking so passionately and excitedly, which is what we want. But at the same time, they don't know what we're talking about. So if you read a book and you think about it this way, you're on chapter 12, they're on chapter 1. They just read the forward. The forward was like, you're cool. They like your energy. They decided to chat with you. And then all of a sudden we go into chapter 12 and they're like, oh my God. So I think that is what I would say is what I hear. I hear not yet. So I read their energy. Where are they in their life? What's going on? And what are the things that people always come up with as objections? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't think I can do this. So I am answering those objections when I'm talking them through a presentation. I'm like, you can start out part-time. I have people that do an hour a week. They plug in where they can. This is totally real. The company's legit. We're AAA rated. We've
Yeah.
been in business for 2 years. We're like the top of the top. Can I do this? You are part of a team. We don't do anything alone. We have a beautiful community. So anyway, I'm rambling a little bit, but I wanted to let you know that no, the no is not yet. They just don't know, KNOW, what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah. I love your analogy about the book because I feel like we give them a 20-minute video or we flip the chart for 25 minutes and then go, okay, do you want to spend $2,800 now? Are you guys with me on that? So that's why you have to understand that that introduction is the intro. It's not step 12, I'd like to partner with you. They may have heard that a few times, and we live in such a day and age too that like there's so much coming at us. So for you not to do a consistent follow-up like she's sharing, where you're going in and you're getting those questions answered, you're overcoming objections throughout the process, that you're just sort of missing the fortune because you've got to dive in there and help them get to chapter 12. Yeah, so that was beautiful, Nicole. Janine, go ahead. You have something you'd like to share? Oh, you're muted, hun.
Sorry.
Yeah,
When
no
I
problem.
was first building, I was like, I was talking too much, I was saying
Yeah.
too much. But my brand ambassador now, Leanne, is a perfect example of someone who said no at first. I told her about it because I was so excited and blah, blah, blah. And she, is into all the holistic type of things. And for over a year, it was always no. But she just watched me and saw what was happening with me, building a business, improving my health, and growing not just like, I mean, just like the personal growth type of things that were happening. And so that's what triggered her to say yes. And it took over a year though. So people that walk away or say no, I'm not interested, I'm doing something else right now, I never give up on them. Check back in. Oh, so how's it going? Is that working for you? Tell me about it. What are your challenges? And then, kind of reestablish, well, would you like to take another look? That type of thing. So,
Yeah. I think you said it best. I think we all talk too much at first. And then we don't ask the right questions. I think there's a magic in asking the right questions. That's the art of follow-up, is asking what do you see 3 doing for you in your life? Which product stood out to you the most? Are you okay with earning additional income? Would you like to make more money? And doing call continuums where you guys are asking questions, you're developing that relationship and you're getting them started in that way. So yeah, that's perfect, Janine. I love that
and
you said
working with your upline and your mentor, a third person on a follow-up call makes all the difference. It really does, until
Yeah,
you get the experience.
Yeah, amen, sister, to that. Because like when I remember making, I think it was like my 17th 100s names list. And finally I turned them over to my business partner, Tracy, at the time. And I said, Tracy, show me what you know how to do. I finally was coachable. I was like, show me what you would do. And I told him which each person was, what I explained to him, what they'd seen before. And we had a work date once a week that I booked out as many follow-up calls as I could as 3-way calls with him until we were recruiting. We were a recruiting machine together. But it took together, because when I booked him out, every single time I had somebody to pop on, Tracy would help overcome objections for me that I would not have normally sussed out or asked the right question to be able to do. So the fastest way for me to have gotten to over 6,000 per month in income was that 30-day window that I finally was like, show me the way, boss. Show me the way, coach. Because he kept telling me what to do. But because I thought I could just do it on my own, and I probably could have, right? But he was everything went more smoothly with that third party person. Okay, next question. I've got another question for you. Okay, so I want to talk about real quickly, what does your current follow-up look like? I know you guys are kind of sharing that. Are you doing a text, a voice note, a video, a Zoom, an invite to the next event? Like what feels easy for you in follow-up and what feels awkward for you in follow-up? So I'm going to put this in here. Okay. Let me get these 3 things in here. Okay. And you're welcome to unmute yourselves. Let me put this in the chat. There's 3 questions I want to work through with you guys today on our working call today. So the first one would be that it's, what does your current follow-up look like? Does anyone, what's your most powerful follow-up move? Is it text, voice note, video, Zoom, 3-way call? I know Janine is obviously suggesting a 3-way follow-up. What else is working for you guys?
My most, the thing that gets me the most traction is calling people and checking in and connecting. And then listening, like somebody said, I think it was Nicole, and seeing, whether or not this is an appropriate time to ask them. But I always do end up slipping it in. The thing I'm not good at, that I need to get better at, that I want to do better with, is 3-way calls. And so 3-way calls, I may have done 1 in many, many years. So that's something I really need to work on. But I find the best results come from an actual phone call or a face-to-face. Haha. Face-to-face is really good.
Yeah. I posted something the other day and this real estate agent in my area reached out to me and was like, can we just meet? And I'm like, yes, because I've presented to her 3 times already in a 2-year since we started 3. And the first time her boyfriend said he didn't like the products and he was a personal trainer. He thought we needed something in addition to. And then the second time she was going through a transition in her business. And then the third time she was like, oh, my girls are going off to college. I'm too afraid to start something new. Now we're 4th time in over a 2-year process where she's reaching back out to me because I did a post and saying, can we just meet? So yeah, I think you're right. It's the face-to-face. It's how can I need you to hear my intention. I need to understand you better, how I can help serve you best. So Sky, that's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
Adrienne, this is Cindy again.
Hi, Cindy.
Sorry.
Huh? Yeah, no,
One of the things that I learned early on, and I've been blessed to work with some really good top leaders in the industry because I've been in it for so long. And back in those days, we didn't have the technology that we have today. And basically, I mean, it was three ways or the freeway. And basically, if we had actually put information out there and we didn't validate it with a three-way phone call, 90% of the time people didn't stick. They just didn't stick long enough because a lot of times even when you're asking that three-way, and I think that's why some people are very fearful of it, I would always clear the call and say, you're going to lead this call because you're going to either be asking me when you're getting that third party validation on the line, hey Cindy, can you tell them your product story? Or hey Cindy, can you tell them your business story? So they would lead the call, and that way I would know which way to follow up for them. And always, no matter what happened, they'd always end up hearing about the product because of somebody's testimony. And your testimonies, you guys, are absolutely how you sell in this industry. When you're telling somebody's story, you go, when they say facts tell, but stories sell, that's exactly what we did yesterday. And both got to share their stories. So that's absolutely critical.
critical. Yeah, I love that you use the word critical because I would say I haven't found a better way yet in 16 years. So, I mean, do what works, do what's duplicatable, right? I think that's important.
Yeah,
Because
I was gonna say something. If
go
I was,
ahead.
if it was not for follow up, I would not be here. If it was not for three-way calls, I would not be here.
Yeah.
And that's because especially when you are new, you need the three-way call. We did follow up, and we are new, and you need the third party person that is gonna tell also about the business, because sometimes people listen more to us than to the third party than to us, because they know us. But when they listen to somebody else say, "Oh yeah, I got it," it's why three-way calls are so darn important, and we cannot think that we are going to build a big business without a three-way call. There's no
Right.
way. Unless
Yeah.
you're a genius or you are already been in network marketing before, you have a big circle of influence. That of course you are going to attract people, but in general, three-way calls are so important. I didn't know anybody. I mean, I was not in the country for so many years. The only people that I knew were people that were going to the church and my neighbors. That was it. It's why I didn't have a big track record. I was waiting tables. So it's why I needed the three-way calls, and that's the reason I am in the business.
Yep.
No three-way calls, I don't know what I would be doing right now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and not probably none of you would be here. Think about that. Or
All
many of
right.
you would not be here
So
because I
what
know
feels
many of you are
easy?
from other teams also. But anyway,
Yeah. Okay, so what feels easy for you guys in follow-up and what feels uncomfortable still? And you can answer either one or ask either or start with either one. What feels easy for you in follow-up and what feels uncomfortable or awkward for you still? I'd love to hit those how do you say it? Nail on the head, head on the nail. You guys, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. You know what I mean? I'm having a moment here. Sorry. I had 4 hours of sleep last night. Okay. So what feels uncomfortable or awkward or what feels easy for you in follow-up?
I'll raise my hand on that one.
Okay,
I'm working
thanks.
with one. Just the rejection of them. I've got one that was like George was saying. She was a server at the restaurant on there, but she was very attention to detail and everything. I've sent her some stuff and everything, and it's just she's already rejecting it without seeing a lot, and she just doesn't think it's for her. So I know it's a lack of information on that. So I'm kind of disappointed, but I'm not giving up, and I'm just kind of I'll probably, after talking about this now, get her on a three-way text with somebody to an upline to further and get her questions answered and get her on to a call.
Well, for sure. But let me break this down for just 1 second. We're going to use you as an example. Okay, Craig. Okay, so tell me what you've done so far. Like you met her, you met the server.
Yep,
You
met her. Let me pull up my text real quick.
perfect. Okay.
Da. She was like, "Thanks for thinking of me. I'm just a server." And and I left her a voicemail. I said, well, the reason I did it is because maybe it's something you don't see, but I see your leadership, the way you were taking care of your customers. You took care of us and everything. So she came back asking, how long I've worked in the company, what are your hours, what's your personal income results versus recruitment and retail sales. And I kind of told her about how we'd have retail customers and how we do that as well. And I just gave her a little thing saying that I've been in it for a couple of years. Didn't go into big detail about the income. And then she asked about what it cost to get in. So I said, it's just $30 to get in, and our packages range from this to that. And that's when she came back, sounds great. Given what you've said, it sounds like an opportunity that might be out of my means at the moment in my life. I thank you for giving me the opportunity and even considering me as a stranger who happened to be your server.
Oh, so this is perfect. By the way, I see perfection in the way that you reached out. Also, this is right now, I heard two things, and you guys let me know if you heard something different, but I heard two things. One, money's an issue, which of course she's a server, right? Money's probably tight. And two, belief in herself is limited. Okay. So what I would do is I would come back and I would say to her, I think I've already told this, there needs to be a piece about why you believe in her, why her first. And then I would chime in with something along the lines of like, I know you feel like it might be a lot to get started, but there's so much more potential here financially. So now she is ready for the financial conversation, in my opinion. And I would say, is there any point where I could get you on to meet with one of my mentors so they could share with you how they started and the kind of income that they're earning now? So she needs to see how to bridge the gap between where she's at and the cost of the pack to how can I earn income? So that's what I would do next. Does anyone else have any other suggestions about what you would say?
Well, and kind of what the other thing that I added after that, I says, here's something that kind of changed my mindset on my belief in myself. And I sent her the Kim Wee and Les Brown recording to listen to.
Yeah, so that's really good too. Hopefully she listened to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone have like a straight up follow-up that they would suggest for Craig, for her, other than that piece?
Yeah, there's something that I like to use stories. Like you said at the beginning, stories sell, fact tell. And one story would be, and it's not because I want to put in the middle of the story. I know a guy that he barely spoke English. He was waiting tables. And now this guy has earned millions of dollars. He's part of our company. We could do a three-way call with him if you want to. That's simple as that.
Yeah.
And the guy used to wait tables, and now, of course, he speaks English, obviously.
Yeah. Did anyone on the team used to wait tables at any point that feels like they have a story that, Sky, Irene. Okay, so these are all people that you could put on with her, right? Because they know how to bridge that gap. Yeah. So that would be good too. So Sky, Irene, anyone else? I didn't see any other hands raised, but if somebody else on the team waited tables and found a way to earn additional income with 3, then that might be a good person to jump on with her as well. Cindy,
it's always good to go the extreme, because when I was starting in the company I was before, I was saying this guy, this was the person that sponsored me. This guy, he's a butcher, just came out from retirement, from bankruptcy, etc. And this guy at the time he was making like $20,000 a month, and people say, really? Yeah, the guy never finished high school. I like to use stories that are really extreme, because people it's like Mark Janelle said. So you have to stir the pot, as he says. Sometimes you say things that especially when we are talking the business, and you remember many times, for those of you that heard the marginal videos that we have in our site, he talks about how to stir the pot to get people open to by saying big numbers, like he was in the gas station, for example, or any place where he had to pay. He has card. He said, "Yeah, have you ever thought of making $20,000 a month for the rest of your life in 2 years without ever to work again?" That was his line. Most people will never say it. But he said, I have a lot of rejection, but the people that were curious, that were coming in. I'm not saying that you have to say that, but especially when we are talking about business, we have to talk to explosion ideas, big stories. People like to hear things that stir their imagination, no? Something big. And that's why it's so important to have a very strong stories. And we can use stories also from many of the people that are in our company right now in different areas. It's why it's nice to know the stories of every person that is successful, because you can use that as a base. And that's something that is very important when you are building the business. It's so important that you have strong stories that show the potential of what it can be done.
Yeah. And I've heard that story numerous times, and it didn't even come on my radar. So I will put that in the memory bank.
All right. Okay, so let's move on. So what I wanted to share, and thank you, George, for sharing that. So really what we're talking about is we're talking about listening for patterns and repeating them out loud sometimes so that others can feel seen as well. So that's another great follow-up skill when I feel like sometimes things feel awkward on the phone call. What can help seal the deal or help get them going? Yes, a good story, but you might want to say, okay, so Karen, what I'm hearing you say is you feel like you don't have the money to get started today. If I could show you a way where you could get started for very minimal cost with the upside potential to earn, I don't know, an extra $500 a month, would you be open to taking a look? So I like to use the if I would you line a lot of times in my follow-up, because if Kenyon comes into me and he says, I've tried network marketing before and it just hasn't worked, and I'm just, I'm tired and I'm frustrated, something like that. And I'm like, well, Kenyon, you're an incredible leader. Like, I hear the way that you move people, and I feel like you're such a people person that if I could show you a way how to really like harness that skill set to be able to get out of maybe why you didn't feel successful in the past, would you be open to working with me? And he might say, well, sure. And I'd say, well, how much time do you have each week? And he might say, well, I just have an hour a week because I'm working full time. Okay, great. Can you pencil me in for an hour? And before I meet with you, can you think of a few people that you would want to introduce this to even before you get started? It's like, what about your waitress, Craig, right? Could you think of a few people that would be open to listening even before you get started? Because if I can help you get 2 people started right away, now I can get you earning commissions right away. So I'd like to fast track this for you. I'd like to fast track an income story for you and help you get paid faster if you're willing to work with me. So that's another way I would bridge that gap. If I would you. And you guys, that's in the follow-up texts and scripts and all things like that, too. But the if I would you is so powerful. Like, it's so powerful. Okay, so what's not working? And here's the thing. I think, what follow-up approaches have you tried that didn't work? I think not following up enough. I think not asking the right questions. Where do you notice that people start ghosting you? Have you said too much, like Janine said? At what point do you usually stop following up, and why? I promise you guys, there's a pattern to your madness, to the way you run your personal business. And if you go back, you'll see your own follow-up pattern, because we have a pattern for inviting, we have a pattern for presenting, and we have a pattern for follow-up. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll be like, well, I sent them the presentation and then that was it. We expect them, right? No, leaders, we follow up until, right? So you might follow up 3, 4, 5 times and be like, oh, they're just not interested. I don't want to bug them anymore. But what if that 6th follow-up is the follow-up where they go, you're not going to believe this. I lost my job over the holidays. I really do need something. Could you show me a way? Okay. So you got to be open for business in that way, that you're willing to continue to follow up until. A good example of this is like when I used to do outside sales and marketing, I would have the same 250, names list of all the places that I had to visit, hit up, continue to develop a relationship with over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I would always come in with a little treat, or I'd always come in with a little story, or I'd always come in with a little sale, or I'd always come in with a little how are ya? Right? I mean, and I got paid to follow up. In any 9 to 5 and any type of thing, you're going to get paid to follow up, because why? Because if you don't, does that business make money? No. So you need to I would say put a huge focus on the follow-up. Okay. Huge focus on the follow-up, especially those that you do not want to give up on. Okay. Go ahead, Freda. I think you were first, and then Kenya next.
Just to give you an example of exactly what you're talking about, just this morning, I received a text from someone that I showed the opportunity to 7, almost 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And the text was simply this: do you have time next week to get together? I think I'm ready.
Wow.
But wait, here's how I did that. Let me tell you a little bit about this person. This person is a top realtor in this area. And when I mean top, I mean she makes more than she makes 6 digits a year easily. Okay. So she has the attitude of, and don't get me wrong, guys, it's just her attitude that I'm all that and then some. You ever met people like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I presented to her and followed up with her 7 times at least, it was, no, I'm too busy. I make all the money I need, blah, 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 blah. My last conversation with her 7 months ago was, I called her by name. Is it okay if I put you on my waiting list for the future? And she said yes. So when she reached out to me this morning, my first attempt was to get her to Fort Worth. Too short notice, can't go. So my second answer back to her was, I will move you up on my waiting list and get back with you. Her next statement was, please let me know when. I said, I will. I'll look at my schedule and I'll get back with you.
Wow.
So sometimes you have to take away what they think they want. Any feedback on that? Or what do you think about that?
No, I think it was great. Yeah. I mean, I think that that's how I'd want to be followed up with too. I want to be like, yeah, could you please help me out? Yeah. I mean, I think it's important. Yeah, absolutely. I had no words for it. I was like, that's perfect. So that's good. You're doing a great job. Yeah, you have cracked the code, my friend. All right, go ahead, Kenyon.
So they say the fortune is in the follow-up.
Mhm.
We go through all the steps, we follow up, we sign them up, then we don't follow up.
Yeah.
And that's the key. We got to keep following up even after we sign them up.
Mhm.
We have to do everything. Us as leaders that's on this call, and I've dropped the ball because I've let life get in the way. And you don't follow up after you sign them up. That's the key. You got to keep following up with your team. You got to keep calling them. You got to keep interacting with them. Yes, when you get a bigger team, it gets harder to follow up with your team. But then after you sign them up, you're thinking, oh, they're already in. We don't have to do no more.
Mhm.
That's the biggest bunch of BS there is on the whole thing. I'm sorry. I'm just blunt about it because
Yeah.
when we sign them up, that's when the follow-up really begins for the rest of their business to help them to succeed in their business. And I've dropped the ball. I admit it. We all have. And that's where we've got to improve and look forward to what we have to do in the future. I'm looking forward to Dallas. I'm so excited. The last time I had things going on, I couldn't make it to Vegas, which was only 2 hours from my house, but I was actually 7 hours away from where I had to be. So follow up. The fortune's in the follow up. I want to thank George and Adrian for Legacy Makers and the team that they've created, and can't wait to see them and hug them this weekend.
Oh, we love you, Kenyon. Thank you for sharing that. It's so true. Like, and I think sometimes too, we have to ask ourselves, did they ghost me or did I ghost them? Right? Because if you've ever been ghosted, congrats, you're building a business. But it is true that sometimes we ghost the person who just got started because, and these are 3 common breakdowns that he just shared. I'm going to go through the 3. The first one is you've given them no next step.
That's
What's
right.
the next step? Right? I'm going to enroll you. And then what? Your products are going to come and you're going to put them in your body. You're going to have an amazing experience. And then what? Right? What's next? So that's the first one. I think it's super key that you book that onboarding call, that you get them on a Saturday onboarding, you get them plugged in as fast as possible. That's the reason the system flows like that. So that you can go recruit the next while the other person is jumping in to the onboarding call and just figuring out their next steps too. And you're helping guide them along that path, helping them fill out their tracker form 30. Okay. Or the second thing is, the follow-up had no value. Hi, I'm just checking in to see how you're doing. How is things going? That's nice. but there's no question being asked there, right? So if you don't ask, hey, I was just seeing if you're still interested in joining 3 and me coaching you, question mark. Hey, are you still interested in earning additional income? Question mark. Hey, are you still interested in upgrading to a better collagen product? Question mark. Right? So if you don't ask, you don't get. So that's the second one. The third one is inconsistency. And like Kenyon was saying, we all are a little inconsistent, right? We do random timing. We don't have a system. They feel that, right? Your energy precedes you. So the best leaders I know are the ones that they present, they invite, they present, they follow up, they enroll, they plug them into the system, and they do it again, and they do it with them. Show me, let's lock arms together. You make your names list. Now I'm going to do the same thing we did with you, with your people. Right? So people they don't need reminders. They need relevance. They need relevance. They need to know how much you care. And so I wanted to share those 3 things. So it was no next step here. Let me put these in here, okay? Because sometimes it's easier to see the common breakdowns than it is to see the breakthroughs. And you can troubleshoot a little bit better. So let me put these in the chat for you, okay? All right. All right, Caroline, go ahead.
Yeah, just to follow up on Kenyon's information. My problem is I'm a great recruiter, but once I get them on, that's my problem. So what happened with Rhonda, that's going to be, I don't know if she's on the call, probably not, it's too early for her. But if I told her finally, I said, you know, if you want me to, I'm here to help you. If you want to learn, let me know, but I can't lead a horse to water. So I actually told her that. I might have been a little harsh, but then that's when she says, okay, I will get on the call.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't, you know, I don't want to, I mean, I've been trying to get, she's been a brand ambassador for 6 months, but trying to get her to get to the next step is complicated. So, I mean, I don't know how you deal with stuff like that.
Well, I think you're doing it. I think
Okay.
sometimes too, we have to call out behavior for what the behavior is. And if they've said yes to you and they order products at one point and they're not willing to take that extra step, you need to have a moment of clarity where you really get clear on exactly why they're not willing to take that next step and what can you do to grab their attention enough to have them get on that 3-way call or get on that thing. And that's true. I think that's perfectly okay to say something like that, you know? Confusion kills momentum. Clarity creates confidence. So what you did is you created clarity for her. I can't help you if you don't participate, in other words, right? So I put those in there. Okay, so how do we combat the 3 common breakdowns? I put it in the chat as well. And you guys, I'm just trying to hurry for the sake of time. I don't want you guys to be on forever. We started 4 minutes late. Okay, duplicatable fault framework. So the next one is acknowledge. What did they see or hear? Acknowledgement, right? So what I'm hearing you say is, or, you know, that kind of thing. Add value. Again, we've talked about this. Is this how you do it? The story, testimonial, invite, 3-way call, education, right? We educate, they decide, we support. That process never changes. And then asking clearly to jump on the next call, get on a 3-way call, get to the next event, order the product, right? Sometimes too, we just need to take the order. There becomes this awkward silence moment where they're like, oh yeah, I'm excited. I think I loved everything I heard about 3. Oh, okay. So what pack do you want to get started with? You got to ask that question. You got to take the order. What's your budget for this? If you knew that you weren't going to fail, would you do the Pro Collection pack? Right? If you knew you were starting a business and you could write it off, would you be interested in doing the top package? Because it comes with, you know, 11 months of SmartShip. I just want to set you up for success. Sometimes is it okay to ask that question even if they say no? Absolutely. I'd rather get a no than non-prompt for it, right? ABC, always be closing. Kinetic is for closers. Okay. So ABC, always be closing. And then put them on SmartShip, right? Caroline, we talked a lot about SmartShip this week, and I think it's just vital. And I mean, vital. Cindy was saying 3-way calls are critical. I'm saying SmartShip is vital. It is the vitality in your business. It is what's going to keep you going every single day. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. The fortune isn't in doing more. It's in following up better. Would you agree? That it's not that we need to do more. It's that we need to do it maybe a little elevated than what we've tried before. We need to start asking more of the right questions. We need to start getting them on those 3-way calls. We need to have relevance around that. Okay. And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. It's not about doing more, it's about doing that. And then I would just say, if you guys could, and this is just a light suggestion. All right, I would follow up with 5 people today from your list. I would go back to just 5 today. We're going into a big weekend. We're going into leadership. We're not going to have calls Friday, Saturday. Well, obviously not Sunday. So we're not going to have calls while we're all at leadership. So I am going to do Thursday, and then I'm going to head out. And then sorry, this is my own, never mind. I'll get to that later. I have my own personal housekeeping I need to do before we leave. Okay. But getting there. So do 5 follow-up calls today, because you have leadership that's present, is what I'm trying to say, before we go into before we head out of town. So between today and tomorrow, let's try to knock out 5, just 5 off of your list. Okay. Reach back out to them, are you still interested? Hey, Happy New Year. I haven't chatted with you for a bit. Happy New Year. Just wanted to circle back and let you know, how grateful I am for 3. I love their detox product right now. I know a lot of people are trying to lose weight gently. Are you still interested in joining me in 3? Just whatever it takes, you guys, whatever it takes. Oh, I love that one-on-one using form. Yeah. How's your family? How was the holiday? Did you get to spend time with your family? How's work going? That's occupation, recreation. Did you do anything fun? Well, listen, the reason I'm reaching out is because at one point you saw a 3 presentation, and I'm looking to partner with the 5 people who really want to make a difference for others in 2026. Is that you? Are you still interested in 3? Are you still interested in partnering with me in 3? Okay. So 5 follow-ups today. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I would suggest you guys do too, because I know I'm going to have time, and there's some people I want to meet with while I'm up in Dallas as well. So that's exciting. Okay, my friends, we are well over time. But I adore you. If nobody's told you they loved you today, I love you. I think it's important that we work together collectively. I think it's very important to be coachable and do 3-way calls as follow-ups. Caroline, I'm available. And I'm excited. Please reach out to me. And let's get this party started. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. We will see you later. I'll talk to you later. I'll chat at you later. Okay, we'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.